Hello, my friends. We are going to get going in just a minute here. Oh, holy shit. I'm so nervous. I don't know what's about to happen. Hmm. But we've got folks still filtering in. I have no idea uh, how many people are going to show up, but wow. I'm just taking you all in here because this is just a whole lot of blessings. Whole lot of blessings. Each of you is a blessing. Hmm. All right. So many familiar faces. Well, part of what's happening with the waiting room is all of my students and clients are accustomed to me being 5 minutes late for everything, no matter what it is. 5 minutes late on the dot, too. Very consistent. Those of you who are laughing, no, it is exactly 5 minutes. And so, yeah, so folks are showing up 5 minutes late. I've trained them. I've trained a whole generation of latecomers, is what I've done. All the on time people who are present can just yeah, resent me for all the late people in your life. I am part of the problem. So I will have to keep one eye on the waiting room as we begin to dive in. Well, wow, thank you for being here. I mean, this whole whatever is about to happen in the next hour is like one huge thank you. I appreciate each of you, the folks that are gathered here, the folks that will be watching this on replay as well. And I do want to just mention this is recorded. So if you are totally uncomfortable with that and want to keep your camera off, that is a-okay. Uh, Sorry, I'm just getting okay, just getting a chat here. Great. So what we can do while I attend to the waiting room, since there is, I mean, look around you on the screen. Like, I just want to highlight in everybody's awareness that every single face you see here on a screen, these are some of the most golden-hearted, beautiful people you could ever share space with. These are all folks who care about healing. These are all folks who care about awakening. These are all folks who care about open-hearted, truthful living, which is a real rarity these days, in case you haven't noticed. And so it's beautiful that we're gathered here. And if you want to, at the bottom of your Zoom screen, you have a little chat icon, and you could open that right up and enter your name and where you're joining from. That way we can all sort of have a moment of getting a feel for who's in the room and just how far reaching this community gathering is. Alaska's in the house. Come on. Mexico City. Orale. Canada, New York, Arizona, North Carolina, Ireland. Mm. Chico, California. What's up? There isn't one of you that I don't wish I could hug right now. Say that much. The good Reverend is with us. Yeah, beautiful. So again, a lot of exquisite individuals right there in the chat box. Some of the most evolved people you could cross paths with. So we're doing this in part because, I mean, I really wanted to say thank you in the most personable way that I could. Hopefully with, at least a face-to-face element, even if through the miracle of technology. Let's see if I can get me. There we go. I also still feel terrible, and I still might go back and spend some hours addressing it. Um, that I can't even look at the GoFundMe page. I can't even look at it. It's like trying to look directly into the sun or something. I literally just could not. Every time I've opened it, and I'm like, I should really send some thank you notes. I should really take a look at who's on this list. It's been, and I do vulnerability for a living, y'all. I'm a professional heart bearer. And I'm telling you, I did not expect the day that I'm really gonna try not to cry. I did not expect the day that I put that up. Kim Malone, I believe I was texting with you and and a couple of other folks like kind of all day, like I'm freaking out about this GoFundMe thing. I don't think I like, should I do it? Can I do it? Am I an asshole for doing it? And finally, text messages from Kim and from other folks started pouring in like, we want to support you. We want to help you. We're like, some of us have been waiting for the ask so that we can help you. And but I still, the other night I opened the GoFundMe page to post an update, and I was like, maybe I'll send some thank you. Maybe today's the day I'll send some thank you notes. And I just can't even look at the list. It's so overwhelming. My nervous system just freaks out. And so this, though, which is, a little more akin to a little more within my comfort zone in terms of holding space on Zoom and offering something that I think will be of value, an opportunity for us all to get in touch with some things, to touch in on healing presence a bit. That's something I can give back and yeah, just have this moment with you all um, who cared enough to show up in some way. I really, if if you know my story, you know that I've been through some things, and in a lot of ways, I'm very, very amazed to have made it this far. I really didn't even plan on living till 30 at one point, and here I am at 47. And again, I do emotions and vulnerability for a living, and it's still too much. Just it is really something else to receive and to be in the presence of you all. So I wanted to share with you all. We're going to do a meditation in a little bit that I think might be of use to each of you. I will open this up to comments um, and discussion, even questions if you want, towards the end of the call. Uh, yeah, but I'm just so happy, frankly, to even be here in this moment at all. That was really scary. And to be able to hold this space at all, just to begin with each of you, is just such a profound blessing. And yeah, getting to the point of being kind of bone dry financially and bone dry in terms of nervous system resources and having to turn toward and make it public. Parts of me really did not want to be very public about being ill at all. And it was a huge teaching for me to just say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and share this very private information, this very private struggle, and just see what happens. And all I know is I got hit with a profound wave of generosity that came from you. And the moment that followed that was a profound moment of exhaustion, wherein my body finally felt permission and the resources to collapse and to finally just open to and go through some deep physical pain, some deep emotional pain, some deep grief, some really challenging cognitive issues that are still a little bit with me for various reasons. Um, to just say, okay, I'm done powering through days of holding therapy sessions and days of holding meditation classes, and to just have some time to sleep, quite frankly, was the hugest blessing. And, there's this teaching in Chinese medicine that when symptoms emerge, that's a sign of, I mean, it's in Western medicine too, that's a sign of your body healing. That's a sign of whatever your body needs to go through to heal. It's happening. When symptoms emerge, it's not bad news, right? It's part of the process. And all of a sudden I was met with all of these symptoms that were really something else, really quite profound. And I knew that it was my body healing, that the whole time I had needed to take that time off, and that whole time I needed to address what I needed to address. And each of you gave me that opportunity. And I honestly think it's why I got better, was finally having that opportunity to just stop. You know, what a profound thing it is, in this world, to have the opportunity to just stop. How many of us long for that? So I want to share with you that it's a fundamental part of my philosophical understanding of the world, of this life. It's a fundamental part of everything that I teach and all the work that I do, that pain is not the problem that we think it is. That challenge and difficulty is, in fact, how we grow. Comfort, in fact, what we all want all of the time, and what we so often wish that we had an unbroken stream of in our lives, just to be cozy, have it all work out. That's not the boon or the blessing that we think it is either. It's when we get comfortable that we stop asking questions, we stop looking, you know. It's when we're uncomfortable that we look towards what matters and we ask the questions that matter. And so if you had said to me in the moment, hey, Ralph, this is about to be a huge teacher in your life, all of this pain and difficulty and terror. This is going to be a profound teacher to you, and your life will pivot on this moment. I would have said, fuck you. Too soon. Too soon, my friend, in the midst of the turmoil. But I had that in the back of my head anyways. This is going to turn out to be a teacher to me. And the first thing that, and now kind of being where I'm at in the trajectory of things, I am looking back and finding like, yeah, there was the moment of opening up and receiving help, which is, such a tremendously vulnerable thing to do, to just ask for help, to ask for what you need, you know, and to somehow trust that either it's going to come your way or it isn't, but you're going to just meet that one way or the other. Very difficult for especially meditators, I find, folks on a healing path. Right? We're such givers. Uh, Receiving sometimes is the challenge. But I want to share with you also that being ill really taught me how to be clear on what I need. That getting sick taught me how to be, how to advocate for myself in a different way, with grace, but unapologetically, how to go ahead and take up space. It put me in a situation um, where I had to be okay with disappointing people, where I had to be okay with flaking on plans a second time, a third time, a fourth time, a fifth time. It put me in a situation of learning how to really be okay with being disappointed myself. It taught me how to be let down. It taught me how to be patient, how to just wait. It taught me a lot about learning how to just be bored, even, which, strangely enough, I think is just so important that we not run from boredom in life. And how to be okay with being misunderstood. You know, there's a whole world of illness, injury, chronic illness, disability out there that many of you that are here know about. And then some of us who are here don't know anything about because we've had health privilege our whole lives. We've never been in a situation where the body has not been working the way that it's intended to work. And you open up your eyes, like you, at some point, we all cross over into this world where, like, you know, health is a construct, being healthy is a construct. And there's actually a continuum. You know, it's not binary. It's not either you're healthy or you're not. It's a continuum. There's a spectrum. And sooner or later, we find ourselves on the less healthy end of the spectrum. And you enter a world in which you realize, like, oh, there are a lot of people who are going through this who don't have their story being told because our society tucks away sick people and puts them in the, you know, in hospitals or you're stuck at home or whatever stories aren't being told. And it's very, very difficult, I found, to get somebody else to understand what it's like to be sick. Right? And I know some of you know this reality so intimately, and you just have to be okay with being misunderstood. That was a huge lesson for me. I'll just share with you very briefly the Buddhist teachings. They, you know, there's a saying that how you live is how you die, and that your entire meditation practice, your entire spiritual life is actually training. You think that it's a training in, you know, how to let go of stress, how to maybe heal up your heart a little bit. You might meditate to, you know, discover the depths of what's possible for you or to optimize your life, to enhance your creativity, or there's so many different reasons people meditate. And the Buddhist teachings actually say, yeah, that's great for starters, but there's so much more here than that, such as learning how to contend with the nature of reality. And the nature of reality entails that to have a human body, a human neurological system, is amongst one of the most profound experiences, right? It's so precious, it's so rare to be a human being, to have the most sophisticated thing in the known universe, which is the human neurological system. It's so vast and so complex. It's so profound and so precious to be alive at all, a true source of pleasure and possibility. And yet, the nature of a human body, the nature of being in a human body is to get sick. The nature of a human body is to experience change and is to get old and deal with the vagaries of getting older. And it is the nature of a human body to even die. Right? And I turn towards this over and over again in my own life and my own process of practice. I get to be here. I get to see another sunset. I get to hear the next song. I get to meet the next person. I get to read the next book. I fucking get to write the next fucking book. You know, it is so incredible getting to be here. And yet, the window is finite, right? And time is short. And we don't know when we're going to go from the healthy end of the spectrum over to the less healthy end of the spectrum. You don't know. Something I think about a lot now. You just don't know when health is going to be taken away from you. You don't get to choose that moment. And then the only thing you can do about it is protect your health. The only thing you can do about it is try to be as preventative as you possibly can. But that same body of teachings that says, yes, you are here, and that is so profound and precious, and also it is a limited time engagement. That same body of teachings also goes on to say, and by the way, you live in the reality of something we call karma, which karma is highly misunderstood. What karma actually means is you are deeply powerful, that everything you think, say, and do matters. Everything you think, say, or do matters. As Martin Luther King said, it affects everyone. Everything you do affects everyone, either explicitly or implicitly. That's how powerful you are. And you live in the context of a broken, failing world that is just defective, where everything's falling apart and things don't work. And the president of the United States has immunity against crimes, against criminal repercussions now. What is going on? So we have this precious opportunity for a little while and this incredible power, and we live in a broken place. What does that mean? To me, that means you live for compassion. You live to help. You live to use that power in beautiful and important, meaningful ways. Okay. I'm going to share with you one other thing. The maybe the biggest thing that I've learned from this time, and this I'll share this with you because I want us all to know, one, how simple it is, how easy it can be to express compassion towards others in our lives. And we all have people in our lives that are going through things. And if you don't right now, just wait a minute and you will. It's inevitable. It's very, very easy to show up in unusually great ways for others. And this is a message that we can deliver to parts of us that hold pain and trouble inside as well. It's so simple. Because two of the most powerful things that were said to me in the whole 7 months that I dealt with this illness actually happened when I was still in the hospital. And it was a night that a nurse just sat with me and just said, "Your feelings are valid." I was literally having a panic attack sitting on the floor of the hallway at 3 in the morning, just uncontrollably crying. And this nurse just kept saying to me, like, "Yeah, that feeling is valid. Tell me more." Yeah, I would feel that way too. That's valid. That's valid. And just kept saying, "No, that feeling is valid too." And in the back of my mind, I was like, that's some shit they told you in nursing school, right? Like, don't give me that. You're using a line from a textbook. I'm a trained social worker. Come on. And every time she said, "That's valid, your feelings are valid," I watched my nervous system down regulate and the tears slowly come to a halt and my nervous system come to rest. Just like that. Right. So often when people come to us in pain or with a problem, isn't it that we're like, "Oh my God, what do I do? How do I help? I want to fix this for them. I want to take it away for them. I want to come up with a solution. Let's get project oriented. You know what you ought to do? I heard this one podcast this once. Maybe that'll help you." Right? That's what we do so often. And I think what all of us really just want to hear is, yeah, the way you feel is valid. That's it. The other thing this is another one that just like came right out of a textbook. And I'm still so floored that this worked. Was the day I was hooked up to an IV bag in my stupid, ugly blue backless gown with my hair all fucked up and just not knowing if I was coming or going. And I was able to get my therapist on a Zoom call. Uh, and I just said, "What do I do?" And she said to me, "This is really hard, and we can't make it better right now. And I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what to do. But I know this one thing, that I'm right here with you, and I'm going to walk through this with you, and I'll stay as long as you need me to." We don't have to fix anything for anyone. We just need to be there for each other, you know? Like, what a profound thing. What a courageous thing to say to somebody in the midst of crisis, right? I don't know what to do. Me neither. You don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. But I'm going to stay here with you. How about that? You know, been thinking about that and talking about that a lot because there's, not only do we get freaked out in the presence of others who are going through difficult times and not knowing exactly what to do, and the real thing to do is to just be there. You know, there's studies on folks who are dying because there's a profound, I keep using the word profound. I got to cut that out. But there's a thing that goes on with folks when they're terminally ill and they're dying, where they get abandoned by everybody they love. This is very, very common in the world. People stop showing up for them in their final days. And when psychological researchers go and they talk to the folks that abandoned their loved one as they were dying, and people are of course filled with remorse and all of this, and they ask them, "Hey, why didn't you show up for your family member, your friend, in their final days?" And people would say, "I just didn't know what to say. I just didn't know what to say. I was just so scared. Like, what would I do? I don't know how to help, you know when really the most helpful thing is just to be there at all and just walk with somebody through difficulty. My friends, that is exactly what each of you have done without saying those words. That is what you have done through your actions and through even just being here right now in this moment with me. That's what each of you have done. And it's profoundly healing. The next time you are sad, the next time you are lonely, the next time you are in pain, the next time your trauma pops out and surprises you with how intense it could be, at the drop of a hat, having some big reaction. We can even say that to ourselves in those moments. We can say that to the parts of us inside that hold, that wounding, that sadness, that loneliness, whatever it is. We can, from a place of compassion, self love inside, say, "I'm right here with you. Yeah, this is hard. I'm going to stay present to this. I'm going to hold my own hand through this. So I just wanted to share that with you, that each of you have done that for me in so many ways, and that there's a teaching in there for all of us that extends both inwardly and outwardly. And then something else this illness gave me is a few weeks ago when I couldn't get my brain back together. Still, I finally went to a psychiatrist and said, "I don't know what's going on, but like I cannot think straight and I am incredibly frustrated all the time. And I'm doing all the work and I'm doing all the meditation, I'm hydrating, eating the vegetables and going on the walks and doing all the things. And what the fucking fuck?" And this woman ran through some assessment questions, and in 20 years of therapy, never had somebody ask me these particular questions that laid bare the fact that I have an ADHD brain, which was like a huge light bulb that now I'm looking back at my life through the lens of what ADHD is. And I'm like, oh my God, that's my entire trajectory. Moving from town to town, state to state, never in one place, can't commit to anything. 47, still single, never married. Having meltdowns. And so I don't think I would have discovered that either without this illness. It brought forth the truth in a way that couldn't have it couldn't have been brought forth any other way. So unfortunately, I will just share one update, and then we can practice a little bit. As you can see, I'm still not quite back to myself, and I found out last week I have developed a second condition. It's totally reversible. None of us need to be worried. But I was joking with my friend Bonnie, who said my doctor is fat shaming my liver because I have what's called a fatty liver now. Not a plus size liver, but a fatty liver. Which just means some fat that was accrued in my body that over the 7 months when I was largely just in bed has infiltrated my liver. And so that's a new problem that I need to deal with. It's totally reversible. It's not debilitating. I'm just a little bit off, really. But I have the utmost faith in being able to conquer this as well. Just going to be a little bit longer getting back to my full capacity. So let's let me get off the diatribe here and offer us something that is useful in terms of practice here. So, how many non-meditators do we have amongst us? Just curious, show of hands. I think, yeah, for the most part. Patty, no way. Maxine, maybe I believe you. Kind of, sort of. All right. We'll see if we can't make a convert out of the two of you that aren't meditators. Let's dive in. Let's dive in and see if we can take this idea that it's profound and precious to be in a human body, despite the challenges, despite the trouble. Let's see if we can actually get a real visceral sense of that together. So, finding a good posture for your body. If you need to lay back on the couch, if you need to lay in bed or lay on your back on the floor, please be my guest. We're just going to be here for about 15 minutes or so. And the eyes can gently close if that works for you. If you want to leave your eyes open, please be my guest. It's a good idea to begin by drawing your attention down to the lowest part of your body, to your feet in contact with the floor, to your backside in touch with the couch, the chair, the cushion you're sitting on. Take some breaths, feeling that support of the earth, and dropping down to the world beneath the shoulders. You might notice that there's quite a bit of energy concentrated in the head. We live in a world that overprivileges the head. And one way we can help that to settle, let's try this with me. You're going to take a deep breath and bring your shoulders up to your ears, and then hold that breath, and then drop your shoulders, and then exhale. So deep breath, bring the shoulders up as if they could touch your earlobes. Feel that tension for a moment, holding the breath, let the shoulders drop, exhale. Let's do a few of these. So breathing in, lift the shoulders. No need to go too far. Don't strain anything, please. Drop, exhale. Breathe in, shoulders up, hold the breath. Drop, exhale. Let's do the right shoulder now. Breathing in, right shoulder up. Hold the breath. Drop, exhale. Let's do two more just like that. In and up. Hold, drop, breathe out. One more. And then let's do the left side. Breathing in, left shoulder up to the ear. Hold the breath, drop the shoulder, breathe out. Two more. And then when you're ready, do one more with both shoulders. Breathing in, hold, drop, breathing out. Seeing if that allows some of the energy to drop from the head now. Ring the bell and we'll begin in earnest. So as you breathe, please imagine you're joining me and everyone else here standing in a wide open field, big open space. You're looking right up at the sky and taking in the sun on your face. This isn't an ordinary sun. You don't need to worry about UV rays or skin conditions or anything like that. In fact, you can look right into that sun. No problem. Taking in the light on your eyes and on your brow and on your cheeks, on your jawline. And let yourself be so simple here. Just like a little kid basking in the sun. Simple pleasure. And then this sunlight is like no other sunlight in that it begins to really sink down into the head. You feel it moving from the face into the bones of your head, into the brain. You feel it warming and relaxing the neck and the throat. You feel it in the shoulder tops, and flowing down the arms into the fingers. You feel it in the chest and the upper back. You feel that good sunlight permeating the lungs, mixing with the air you breathe, the air which then enters the bloodstream, spreads everywhere. Feel that good sunlight moving down the back body into the belly, touching each one of those precious organs inside. And as you breathe, that sunlight is even down in the pelvis, a place of tremendous holding in the hips and the glutes, front of the pelvis as well. You can breathe and just let it all soften here. It's even flowing in the thighs, the knees, the lower legs, feet, all the way down. And then see what it's like now to open the space of your mind to feel the whole body breathing. You are a wave in the ocean of Tao. And you really can feel how you rise and fall, breathing in, breathing out, just like so many waves in the ocean, just like the wave you are. So here, breathing, and you don't have to let me talking interrupt your awareness of the body breathing. Just let it all mix together. I want you to think of one thing you're grateful for. It could be a person or your goldfish, that something has begun or something has ended, anything at all. And then hold that one thing in your mind for a moment here. Picture it, dwell on it. And let me ask you, can you imagine what it would be like if you could feel deep gratitude, like an embodied thank you for this thing. What would that be like if you could really go there? Can you imagine that for a moment? What's it like in the body to feel that? And now you could think of one more thing from your life, and it doesn't have to be huge. It could be so simple. The taste of coffee or tea in the morning. I'm grateful for that. And then ask yourself again, what would this be like if I could really like get to the place I try to get to with those gratitude lists, you know? What would that be like? Can you imagine it? Can you imagine what the body embodied sensation would be? What we find is that when we imagine it, we're already halfway there. Isn't that nice? It's a big old clue. So let's keep going. Just a couple more and then we're done. As you breathe, what's one thing you really love about your life, this precious life you get to live? This has to be one thing. It doesn't have to be epic. One imperfectly perfect thing you love about your existence on this planet for the time you have. And if you really could fall in love with that aspect of your life, what would that be like? What would it be like in the body? Just imagine. All right, you ready for the master class? Here we go. Advanced stage. What's one thing you love about yourself? One thing you love about yourself. I know that you try to be fair. I know you try to be decent. I know you try to do what's right. That's enough. So, what's your one thing? Perfectly imperfect. And you ain't got to do this. I'm just going to ask you to imagine it. Imagine for a moment what it would be like if you could fall in love with yourself. Not in a narcissist way. That's not love. Not in a weak mamby pamby way. That's not love. in a heartfelt, warm way, you really deeply love yourself, what would that be like inside if you could go there? What would it be like in your body? Hmm. Let's take some deep breaths here together. If you really went there just now, see if you can stay there. And even if you just got one little glimmer of possibility, 1 nanosecond of a taste, you've planted a worthy seed, my friend. Keep breathing. Just another moment. Namo. For the bowers in the room, please have at it. If you're not a bower, that's fine. No big deal. Thank you. Well, most of you all know how this goes. We're going to go a few minutes over. And if you've got to run, you got to run, and that's okay. Have a lovely night. But I do just want to leave this open for any comments at all. And it doesn't have to be about me or anything. It could be about you and your experience or a question or just anything. Yeah. Takeaways. Just leave some space for any words that want to be spoken here for any reason. By the way, you don't have to raise your hand or anything. You can just unmute and share. And as you can see, we're not going to get like a traffic jam, like share collisions or anything like that. But I do see Kim Malone is unmuted. Yeah, thank you, Kim. It's nice to see you. Hi.
I was going to text you and then got busy. Terrible. Thank you for doing this. It's just so lovely to be in the space together, and to see you back in the Zoom boxes, you know. And so many familiar faces. Yeah, amplifiers. Robin is chiming in. And as always, your message resonates, and I constantly come away from these calls remembering I'm not alone. None of us are alone. We may not share details, but we're not alone. And you being so public and vulnerable, I think for me, it helps me, my own journey. As always, thank you.
Thank you, Kim. I appreciate you. I feel like I'm not speaking that well on this call, so it's really nice to hear the feedback. I just did like 2 podcast interviews back to back, and I don't know. I was like, I came to this a little bit more tired than I wanted to be, and so it's nice to hear that things resonate. Yeah.
You're speaking beautifully, boldly, bravely, as you always do. And yeah, what Shara said.
Whatever you're saying, valid.
Your it just your bravery is just so inspiring, and just to kind of like echo Kim, it's like, thank you for talking about shit that matters.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
not being afraid to do that,
I
and
mean,
reminding us all that we're not alone.
none of us are. None of us are. We're all walking a unique version of the same journey, you know? Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I think we all have the power to normalize, human existence. We all have the power to wipe each other's shame away, you know, by just in the simple of telling it like it is, you know. It's like so powerful and so easy. So easy. Thank you, Janet and Robin. Appreciate
Oh,
it.
I feel bad I interrupted somebody.
Oh, you're fine.
But this is nice, Ralph. Isn't it nice that like you don't have to be the teacher or the, just like here's a space and everybody wants to come and we want to come to be together um because of Ralph, also because of the Ralph people, because we always meet good people through Ralph. So I'm having a good time. And it's a very nice little practice. It was very, very, very nice.
Glad.
Mhm. What would you do? What was it? What would you do if you could to do that? Or
Just a little brain hack. It's just a funny little brain hack. When we're struggling with self-love, when we're struggling with self-forgiveness, when we're struggling with gratitude, going through the motions, it all feels mechanical, can't quite seem to get there. Just imagine what it would be like.
yeah, it
And
just
the
popped out. I would be free.
Yeah,
It would be free. That'd be
yeah,
great.
yeah. So weird. You imagine what it's like and the brain starts doing it without the pressure of having to do it, of having to love myself. Right? It's so fucking
Mm.
cool.
I I don't know about other people, but lots of times when we're together, us Ralph people, we have a taste of that. People are very respectful of the space, and then you kind of come to love the space, and then you're just okay. Here we are, and we can even bring all our weird stuff. So yeah,
The weirder, the better. Please, please.
and that
Yeah.
makes me feel at home. So yeah, thank you, everybody, even people whose beautiful faces I'm seeing for the first time. Wonderful. Thank you, Ralph. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, I do want to say a special thank you to the folks who were part of the Amplified teacher training, because one very cool thing that happened when I was in the hospital was I found out y'all were meditating every day on my behalf and meeting on Zoom, and just like the way that hit me was incredible. And strangely enough, that was the day that we found out what was going on, and the day my symptoms started getting better, and the day they said, we're preparing to send you home. It's going to be a little while, but give it another couple of days. It Whether it was the meditation that worked or just knowing about the meditation, I don't fucking know, but I was just really happy y'all were meditating to begin with. Thank you.
Hi, Ralph.
Hi, Maxine, my
Hi.
Facebook
Hi.
friend for so many
I
years.
know. I'm from Seattle, right? Are you in
And
Seattle?
I'm on Pike and 11th in the belly of the beast.
Yeah, out on 17th and Madison. Just go up the hill
So
near
Maxine,
Trader Joe's.
You're around the corner. Everybody,
Yeah.
Maxine and I have been
Yeah.
Facebook friends. I forget how we got connected for like 7 years or something like that.
Oh, oh, years.
That's so
Yeah.
funny.
I forget through whom, but it is a kick to see you and see you feeling so much better and, becoming healthier and healthier. I have been through, my whole life is always well and then sick and well and sick. I've always got something. And it's been this challenge, but I'm 80. And in fact, I celebrated my 80th birthday in the hospital. But anyway, yeah. But I made fun with it, telling the nurses, and they had up on the board, happy birthday, Maxine. And it was more of a party for me there than it would have been where I live. So, but I've learned to do that, to make lemonade, lots of lemonade
Yeah.
over the years, and just go with it, to surrender. I've really, I don't know how many, I mean, all the challenges where I was facing death and yet surrendered. I didn't know how my body works. I know some, I know a lot, but I'm not a doctor. I don't know all the stuff. So surrender to them. That's what they do, and trust them. For the most part, I have to advocate for myself, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Definitely I still have to ask
it's great to
questions,
see
but
you.
y'all know the definition of surrender, right? It's to join the winning team. That's it.
Ah, yeah, I like it. I like it. Thank you, Ralph, for this. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Maxine. We should get a cup of coffee one of these days, huh? Yeah,
Yes, let's
yeah.
do it. Let's
Let's do
do
it.
it.
Let's
Seriously,
do
we're going to
it.
do it. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
I'll reach out to you on Facebook. Yeah.
All
Thank
right,
you.
excellent. You're
Yeah.
welcome. Thank you. That'd be fun.
Mhm. So hopefully this has been useful to you in some way, meaningful to you in some way. I mean, there really aren't words. Like I just don't know that I would be well um without the donations, quite frankly, and the opportunity that it gave me. I don't know that I would be as well as I am right now if not for that opportunity. Um, I know that uh, money is important to all of us in a way that um, like never before lately with inflation. And so it's not lost on me that there was some level of sacrifice involved in that. And I appreciate it. And my promise to each of you is I'm going to keep doing exactly what I've been doing, which is shining this heart, shining the truth, making mistakes, owning them. Maybe not, hopefully not so neurotically going forward, but um, you know, just keep living to give and keep being of service, keep holding the lantern of compassion up for folks. And you know, that's what we're all here to do. If you saw my Instagram post earlier today, then this is going to be a repeat. But you know, with everything that's going on in the world right now, I think that the answer is really kind of what Maxine was saying. Wherever we go, can we celebrate what we do have? Can we celebrate the people that we're with? Can we celebrate ourselves? Can we celebrate the life that is here? Can we take the turmoil and difficulty and metabolize it into something compassionate and loving for others? That is always possible. That is always possible. And it's really the highest joy. I really think we're going to come to that where it's really immediate, you know, looking at the situation and just being very sober about it, but like not shutting down the heart, not giving into reactivity, not giving into hate and wanting revenge, right? Staying connected to the people who really matter and who are doing the same thing in their lives. You know, I think that that much is a matter of psychic survival. You know? So let's keep going, y'all. Let's keep going. Let's we'll just close up by dropping in and dedicating the merit, which if you don't know what that is, it is a 2-minute meditation on exactly what I just said. Right.
Hey, Rob.
How do yeah.
Sorry. Whatever you were just saying reminded me of our closing in Amplify. And I'm sure you have something planned for this evening, but I thought if you didn't, I wondered if you were going to share the our
Oh,
closing.
you want to do
our
our closing
closing.
chant?
Yeah.
Why not?
But if you have something,
Nope.
it's cool. I just thought it would be really fitting for after what you just shared. And
I
thank you
adore
for
you.
still existing.
Yeah. So I'll put this in the chant. This is a little something that some of us chant when we close calls. It's a little formal. Uh, Sometimes I stray away from it because it feels a little religious, but it's not at all. And we can just speak this together. We call it a chant. That makes it sound fancy. I don't know. It's really just something we say together in a very normal way. And we'll just read this together. You'll see where it says pause, and we'll simply pause for one inhale where it says pause. But this is dedication of merit, for anybody who doesn't know, is just simply wishing that the merits of our practice, the good momentum, the positivity of our gathering here tonight might be shared with the world somehow. I don't know how that works, but I know something happens when we intend it. You know, if we want it to become real, we got to imagine it first. So take a breath, feel into your heart space for a moment. And then we'll read this together. Ready? Together, we imagine our bodies shining like the sun, radiant and loving like the moon, from the back of the heart out to the world. Together, we reflect on our collective efforts and good deeds on the path. Together, we wish that these merits be multiplied to the furthest reaches of space. May they be shared with all beings for the healing and awakening of all. Together, we commit. We will keep going. We will keep working. We will keep playing. We will keep loving until all beings are free, until all beings can rest in self together. Om. Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. And if you want to, we have a funny tradition where you kind of mute at the end and just say good night, my friends. So, good night. I'll see you soon.
Good night, everyone. Nice to see you.
Good night, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
you.
Good night.
Thank you. Thanks for the
Good night,
party.
Ralph, everybody. Nice to see you.
Thanks,
Good night,
Ralph.
everyone.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good
Good night.
night.
Pleasant dreams.
Good night.
Thank you. You too.
Good night, everyone.
See you
Manana.
all soon.